Tell me about, I guess, some specifics. A lot of people have just different definitions of what they consider a failure. Either whether it's on the micro level, like we're talking about, or on the macro level. Can you give us some specific instances or things that you would consider a failure if it were to occur in your daily or entrepreneurial career?
Yeah, so I've had some failures in the past. One was we would tell people that we were the best at this particular service line. We're an interactive agency. We would tell them we're the best at doing stuff online. Um, the irony is that we had just a whole string of clients that were unhappy with the process, and so I started to ask myself, how in the world can you be the best if client after client after client is dissatisfied with the process? And so it takes time to basically deconstruct that whole process and figure out if you think down a path, how did instead of getting to success, we got over here to unhappiness? How did that happen? And so you have to work backwards and see every little thing that made the person unhappy until you get back to a point where you could have controlled it. So specifically, we had a real repetitive process happening where we would let the clients tell us what they wanted done for their projects. Now they would come to us and they would say, Center Source, we want you to make us the best at X, Y, and Z. We want to be known for X, Y, and Z. They would give us business objectives, but then they would say, and we want to do it with blinking text and pink borders. And we would do it. What's funny is we were defining success as doing the things that we were told internally, but we were projecting success / selling success to clients as we will accomplish your business goals. Well, I remember one of the clients who was dissatisfied, he actually said to me, he's probably 80 years old. And he had put me in touch with his marketing department. We were working together, but he called me back and he goes, Nick, I told you in the beginning, all I wanted was a simple e-commerce site where people between the ages of 40 and 60 could easily buy tools online.
Yeah.
That's all I said I wanted. And he said, you were the expert. You said you could get that done. And I said, yes, sir. I said, and we did, Mr. Client. I have 22 pages of user stories and requirements that show that we did it. AKA, think back what I said. Like I was defining success as checking things off the list. And he said, well, I believe you did your 20 pages of stuff. Don't get me wrong. But have you actually tried to buy anything from the site that you built for me? And I was like, no, I haven't tried. He goes, why don't you do that and call me back? Well, man, it was terrible. We did a terrible job.
Wow.
And so the issue is that we got into really asking ourselves, we need to deconstruct what we wanted. We know what we want. We want to build a really beautiful end user experience so that people in this demographic can easily buy stuff. Well, how did we get off course? And so we really worked then to deconstruct the process and recognize that one of the key elements was that we had to be in control of the planning and the strategy. And so now we change our activities, we change our day-to-day things so that the client knows that we allow them to set the end goals, but we are responsible for setting the daily path that gets there. So that was one failure. Another thing that you asked, what do I consider to be failure now, is that as a CEO, it's super easy to work in your business and not on your business. Talk to almost any executive in any company and they'll tell you, oh my God, man, I get 100 to 200 emails a day. I mean, it's a pandemic across America, the onslaught of emails. But the irony is that if I were to get them to step back from their email and say, list me out the 5 or 10 things that you should be doing as a leader to help your business, never do you see email on that list.
Yeah.
So if you spend all day in email and you spend all day being reactive versus proactive, well, then you know that you've pretty much failed your core missions. And that's something that I still struggle with. That basically you put yourself in a leadership position and you want people to come to you and be like, oh, Nick, help me out. Oh, Nick, tell me this. You're the man. Make this decision. But at the end of the day, what you really want is, as a leader of a company, you're often saying, we're charging this new market, and we're going to charge into this new market. We're going to do this new service line. This is the vision. We want to grow this much. We want to have this company culture. We want to deliver this level of satisfaction. And often that doesn't come into answering emails all day long.
Yeah.
So basically, you know, pushing grains of sand when you need to move the mountain is another definition I think that a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with in terms of failure. Because each day becomes a little failure. You'll see that they have major things on their to-do list that literally just go on and on and on and on that never really get worked on.